Hey, so before starting the topic on the concept of tax and its effect on the market, I thought of showing you all the process, or let's say how to derive the producer surplus, consumer surplus, and total surplus from demand function and supply function. So we have we have solved this, but using directly from the graphs, so from the illustration. But what about uh, when you have the functions in your hand, how to solve that? So let's say we have a quantity demand function, which can be how much? Let's say 80 minus 80 minus, let's say, 5p, and the quantity supplied, let's say, minus 20 plus, let's say, it can be also 5p. And now we we know that the market should function at the equilibrium. So we will find out the equilibrium price and equilibrium quantity first. So for that, we can write that QD equals to QS at the equilibrium. Now we can solve the the math. Like this would give us 80 minus 5p, 80 minus 5p minus 20 plus 5p equals to 100 equals to 10p, and which is p equals to 10 p star. That's the equilibrium price. Now we can also solve the equilibrium quantity by just plugging the value in either of the quantity demand function, quantity supply function. 80 minus 5p, so 80 minus 5 multiplied by 10, which will give us 80 minus 50, and this is 30, right? So quantity equilibrium quantity is 30. So we can draw this. Let's say this is the demand function, this is the supply function, this is the equilibrium point, and our equilibrium quantity is 30. Equilibrium price is 10, right? So now how do we solve the like how do we find out the consumer surplus? So this point, so this point, this is the extreme point where the we basically see the maximum willingness to pay, right? So at this point, the quantity demand is zero. So our demand function was qd equals to 80 minus 5p, right? So we can solve this like 0 equals to 80 minus 5p. We will get 5p equals to 80. Now p would be 16. So what is this p? The p is the maximum willingness to pay that we derive using the demand function. Now we can also similarly, we can actually solve the economic cost as well, or the willingness to sell, using from the supply function. So the supply function was minus 20 plus 50. So supply function was minus 20 plus 5p. Now this is also 0, because at this point the quantity supplied is 0. Minus 20 plus 5p. So this gives us 5p equals to 20, and price equals to 4, right? So price equals to 4. So this is 4. Now I think you can solve it. Solve the values of consumer surplus. The CS would be, this is the price change, right? So half multiplied by 16 minus 10 multiplied by the quantity this point is 30, which should give us half multiplied by 4 or 6. 6 multiplied by 30, and this should be 3,390. 90. And what about producer surplus? Producer surplus would be 10 minus 4, right? So half multiplied by 10 minus 4 multiplied by 30 again. So this gives us half multiplied by 6 multiplied by 30. So okay, this is also 90, right? So what about the total surplus? Now we know the total surplus is nothing but the summation, right? Just you just add the consumer surplus and producer surplus, you will get the total surplus as well. So here total surplus would be 90 plus 90 equals to 180. Yeah, this is the total surplus.